Hi everyone, hope you've all had a wonderful week. In this week's report, we'll see if last weekend's heavy rain had any effect on the lake levels. We'll try and reunite a pair of wading boots with their owner. We'll see whether fish are biting. Local legend Tiny Egan is getting excited about fishing over the coming weeks. I've got some numbers to share on our social media channels. Pete Wilson visited Kiandra recently and has a great pic to share with us. There's the weather, pick of the week, and this week's fishing meme. Okay, let's start. Here's the weekly report for the week ending 6th of April 2025. Despite the heavy and widespread rain across the mountains last weekend, there was very little change in the lake levels this week. Lake Eucumbene fell 0.2% to sit on 43.2%, 12% lower than it was last year. Tantangra Dam rose slightly, and Lake Jindabyne remained steady on 52.2%. Jindabyne now sitting almost 14% lower than it was last year. Just before we take a look at the fishing this week, let's see if we can reunite a fisherman and his wading boots. Regular Facebook group contributor Warren Sharp was kind enough to put the boots on a rock near where he found them and post this pic to the group. I'd love to be able to reunite the boots and their owner, so if they're yours, please reach out to Warren Sharp via Facebook Messenger or let me know and I'll contact Warren. Another very tough week for fishing for most this week, but some anglers did land some nice fish. Stephen Williams spent a week at Frying Pan and fished the Arm, Rushies, Middling Bank, the Dam Wall, and a couple of days of trolling. He tried worms, yabbies, and fly fished into the evening without success. Stephen chatted to others along the way, with one bloke saying he'd been fishing for 3 weeks and only landed 2 fish. Stephen commenting it was the worst fishing he'd ever had at the lake and he'd been going there since 1970. Pity about the lack of fish, Stephen, but thanks for sharing this great sunset pic from Rushies. Pleasingly though, water temperatures have started to drop across the mountains, as can be seen in this pic sent in by regular contributor Reno. Earlier in the week, the temperature was down to 18.3 degrees, 3.5 degrees lower than Reno's last reading last week. Reno also didn't land any fish, but took this beautiful sunset picture from Frying Pan. Thanks for sharing, Reno. Some anglers fared a little better, including Brett and Rick Wills, who, along with a mate, had their annual trip to the lake this week. Brett landed this beautiful brown on a spider mud-eye. The fish returned to the water to swim another day. Thanks for sharing, Brett. Not to be outdone, Rick fished the shallows in the Bucandera Arm during the week and landed this beautiful brown also on a mud-eye. Rick commenting he witnessed a few fish surfacing during the afternoon, but all went quiet after dark. Thanks for the update, Rick. Brett and Rick also had a productive night at Rushies, landing 7 fish, all within 3 metres of water. The fish were caught before and after dark, including this nice brown. Glad you enjoyed the week, fellas, and I bet you're already planning your next year's trip. Anglers Reach legend, and recently bogged, Tiny Egan is getting excited about the prospects of better fishing conditions ahead. Over to you, Tiny.
Well, trout butts, it's finally starting to cool down. Water temperature this afternoon down the front here, 16.8 degrees. Let's just hope, But if this keeps going, like cold temperatures next week, that night, bring it on.
It's great to report a pretty awesome milestone during the week, with the Lake Eucumbene Facebook group reaching 22,000 members. When I started the group, I had no idea it would grow to this level, so I want to say thank you to everyone listening who has joined the group. For those who haven't yet joined, simply search Lake Eucumbene on Facebook. I'd love to have you join us. Thanks also to everyone who watches these weekly videos. The numbers watching each week continues to grow, with last week's report watched by almost 800 people so far. If you like the videos, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Spirits in the Snowies, and you'll be notified each time I put a new video up. We're up to 98 subscribers on YouTube now, and I'd love to crack 100 sometime this week. Thanks to everyone who liked or comments on the videos. It just encourages me to do more, so thank you. Pete took a trip down memory lane during the week and visited the Kiandra Gold Rush display on the Link Road. This pic of a relic of the Gold Rush is just one of many on display. Unfortunately, the 2020 fires that swept through the area destroyed many of the remaining relics, as well as the 2 remaining houses, and causing extensive damage to the Kiandra courthouse. I love visiting Kiandra, and I often go there just to contemplate what life would have been like during the gold rush. Gold was discovered at Kiandra in November 1859 by mountain cattlemen, the Pollitt brothers, and by 1860, some 10,000 miners and storekeepers had raced to the scene. Initial returns were very good. A 9-kilogram nugget was discovered in a river deposit under what became known as New Chum Hill, the site of the gold rush display. It's estimated that the area at its peak accommodated around 15,000 people, served by 25 stores, 13 bakers, 16 butchers, 14 pubs, several banks, and 4 blacksmiths. Sadly, looking at Kiandra today, and it's hard to believe all this took place here, there are plenty of reminders of the wonderful days scattered around the hills and valleys. You've just got to look for them. You really should visit Kiandra if you haven't. It's a most magical place. Taking a look at the weather for the week ahead at Lake Eucumbene, and for this late into autumn, it will be pretty nice. Sunshine will dominate the week. Days will be mild, reaching a lovely 22 degrees next Saturday. Monday will be cooler, with a top of 16 degrees. Nights will be cool, but not cold for this time of the year, averaging around 8 degrees. Little to no rain is likely for the next week. We saw Brett and Rick Wills earlier in the report with some of the great fish they caught on their annual trip to Eucumbene. So, for pick of the week, I've gone with this great shot sent in by Brett. It was taken on a lovely warm afternoon as the group wetted a line. Such a great shot and making us all very jealous to be there, Brett. By the way, how was the Serenity, mate? On to this week's fishing meme, and I really love this one. It's also very timely given the video I posted yesterday with the story I told about the times my dad and I spent at Lake Eucumbene. Dad, why do you care so much about taking a kid fishing? Because I once was that kid. I think so many people watching this can relate perfectly to this. Well, that's it for this week. I hope you found the report useful. As always, I'm happy to receive any feedback or suggestions on future reports. Don't forget, if you're looking for more information on all things Lake Eucumbene, check out my social media channels. There's the website, Facebook, Instagram, and of course YouTube. And please like and subscribe. Really trying to get those subscribers up over 100 this week. And if you do subscribe, you'll find out straight away when I upload any new videos. Have a great week, everyone. Stay safe, tight lines, and bye for now.